Hi everybody, and I'm Cinder today. And I'm wearing a Destiny shirt, because do you believe in Destiny? Yes. I'm gonna recap what we kind of have done to create Cinder. You might be wondering, like, oh, she's doing a Cinder video, why the hell is she in a t-shirt and Cinder makeup? Because how can I show you the beautiful outfit if I'm wearing it, silly? So the first thing I want to talk about is how we did the pattern. So I used a t-shirt pattern to make Cinder because her dress is very simple and was easy to modify. I have a few snippets from the work in progress that I will just be throwing in here and there, so please don't get too distracted as I'm a real amateur at video editing. So hopefully it doesn't look too bad. What I use is a type of tracing paper. It's called Sobel Swedish tracing paper. I get it off Amazon. It's pretty cheap. I use that to trace all my patterns, so they're highly reusable, easy to use at that point. Once I have my pattern selected that I'm going to modify, I then take the tracing pattern and trace over it, as you can see in the next couple videos.
First steps of Cinder's pattern, traced the back and extended it onto my tracing paper. It's an extra like 13 inches to the back of her damn dress. Alright, so copied all of the pieces out, so front and back, the modified, so front's a little bit shorter than the back because I gotta do the swoop. Now I get to put this on and then modify it as necessary because it's just pinned together right now, and so I get to cut off the shoulders.
So once I trace the pattern, I then am able to put it on and wear it, and then we can draw on the details and that kind of stuff.
Alright, so yesterday Mark drew some of the things on here that I'm going to be cutting off and modifying. And this is the whole pattern so far. So on the front, since it's symmetrical, I just folded it over, and now I'm going to cut everything to where it matches properly. So Cinder's dress has this like strap that's not part of the dress itself, so I'm going to trace this out so that way this is just one piece. So here's the traced out piece. So I notice you take a little bit further out this way, so I can have my seam allowance to connect this piece to this piece, and then this is cut on a fold.
So like for the back detail, with knowing how far to make the swoop, I actually had Mark measure from the end of my thigh where the dress will end to the bottom of my calf, so I knew how long to actually make that part. So measurements and ratios are very important when you do alterations, because last thing you need to do is alter it based on a not, an eyeball size. I highly recommend rulers.
So to give you guys an idea how much I take in stuff, original line, second test fit, third final line, and this is on the sleeve.
I used a red spandex material because I wanted to have that nice hugging shape. So it was all red spandex. I think it's performance wear. Once I had it all cut out, I did test fits, as you can see.
Alright, so pin together the front and back of Cinder's dress. And I think it's good. Trying to see if I can get the back. Look if you can see the back actually. Ooh, look at that flow. Look at that butt kick flow. Alright, I'm really happy with this dress. Got the back placement done for back for dress. And I also got the front part done.
I love my selfies. These, by the way, every single thing that I've recorded that's in this video is from my Snapchat, aside from the makeup video and this part. So if you want to see progress as I'm making stuff, look at the Snapchat cheer on my Patreon. That's where you'll get it instantly as I'm doing it. Else, wait for these videos, because this was about 2 months out, to give you an idea. So you'll be waiting a little while, depending on how soon I can get these going, which this is a bit of work so far. So yeah, I did a test fit of the wig once I got it.
It's so fluffy. Oh my god, it's fluffy.
As you can see, it no longer looks like that. It is more of this beautiful shape that I have on my head right now. Loads and loads of hairstyling was done to this. Like, I spent a day on this, and I love it. So, never skimp out on your wigs. I use Got2b hairspray and hair glue. That stuff's great. Got2b is cheap, and it's used for mohawks, so it holds. Like, it did my Ceres Victoria wig where it had the spikes in the back. It did my little yang flip on the top of her head, and it's done this. So it's also what I used on Sparrow Storm's Roxas wig for those gravity-defying spikes. So keep that in mind. The next part was the really hard part of doing the EL. So this was 3-inch EL tape. I ordered it from a company called Californion. So love the pun. They are the same people who made the EL tape for Tron Legacy, come to find out. I'm very happy with the outcome.
Tedious tasks of pulling vinyl. Like, seriously. Now we get to paint.
The way we did it, as you'll notice here I say, we're going to paint. The original idea was to paint over it, but it made it too opaque and the light wouldn't come through. So we had to engineer a solution of clear vinyl, the vinyl cutting solution from the pattern, bleed it through. So I have the dress right here, at least, so you can see it. And I'll hold the front up so that you can actually see how it is. So the EL is actually taped to the inside of the dress in one solid area. The dress itself is sewn to a piece of double vinyl. So there is the vinyl from our vinyl cutter that cutted the pattern, which thank you so much to this DeviantArt pattern reference that we used that had free to use rights. Thank you so much. You made my life so much easier, and probably every other cosplayer who has used this. I'll show you on the arm how it's sewn in. So then we had pieces. So right now the arm is altogether clear. There's two skeletal structures to the EL. The pieces that are in the front and back as one solid unit that do not come out of the dress, and they have their own hookup. And then the arms. The arms are built to have a piece here, a piece here, and a piece here, so that I can freely move my arm. I have shocked myself about 12 times wearing this dress because a wire comes loose and it's 12 volts of battery. If you're playing with EL or any type of power source, please be safe because being shocked by AC current is not fun. I wanted the dress to be amazing, not shocking.
So after a whole bunch of trial and error, Cinder's pattern has been transferred to her sleeve, which I had to completely redo and rip out. Alright, EL tape glowing behind the cutout part. This fabric still needs to be cut out just a little bit so it's not glowing red, but this is coming along.
But we take the vinyl that has 2 layers, sew it into the dress. We then cut out the top layer of the red fabric along with the white layer of the vinyl so that it bleeds through, which is how we can see it on this side. Because the white vinyl from the pattern is still there on the clear vinyl, it blocks out almost all the light. Any of the other light that we couldn't block out, we just used electrical tape. And of course, all the connections are soldered and stapled, actually, is how we recently rearranged it, because it broke at Fan Expo and we just soldered them with the clips that we got for the EL tape. To power the EL, as you noticed, my little feather thing kind of hides this power source. Yes, this is really on my hip. So we made a little harness that went under the dress, like around my hip. This has 24 AA batteries in it. There's 2 transistors in it for 9 feet. So it has 2 plugs, one front, one back, and it has an on-off switch. Pretty simple engineering, but this weighs like 15 pounds, and it hurts at the end of the day. And we have a piece of Velcro right here, which here's my feathers. I think I made this too big, but that's okay, because we made it to just cover this like that. And it just starts right here. And people were bumping into this all day at Fan Expo, like crazy sardines, so that broke off a little bit. All it is a bit of Eva foam that was trimmed out. This actually is even unpainted because we got lazy, and it was also the night of the con, so it worked. We need to go back over and make it like shiny, but otherwise we just painted the edges gold and a whole bunch of feathers with some Velcro on the back. This was a mess of hot glue. I burnt my fingers probably about 5-6 times. Most of these feathers, I went with more of the colored feathers because I was trying to be realistic to the actual artist design. And the only thing I could find were either like peacock feathers, raven feathers, these light bright color feathers, or turquoise feathers that were like really short. And I know I needed a wide thing because that's how much that really covers. It barely covers it. And we needed to hide this. The accessories, we 3D printed the gems because I could not find anything anywhere. So Mark was a saint and 3D printed stuff for me. Anklet, which there's a picture of Jessica Negri wearing the Sifan Expo because I gave her my anklet that I wore Saturday. This is actually the second one, and all it is just a whole bunch of 3D printed gems in 2 different sizes, and we painted the tips gold with a little bit of flux leather to tie it together. I should add a little clasp, but I was being lazy again. I would show you the shorts, but I completely lost them. I'm thinking when I did my little Cinder shoot for Patreon, when I took them off, they kind of got left at the hotel because we couldn't find them when we got home, which thankfully is okay because they were too short anyway. They actually needed to be longer, but the technique I used was pretty simple. I had a piece of paper with the stencil on it, and I kind of measured the difference, and once I took the measurement difference of where I'm going to make the little ribbon, I just took some ribbon, did the pattern, sewed the pattern onto the piece of paper, and then kind of ripped it out of the shorts. There's a tutorial on how to do that I totally used, and it is amazing, and thank you so much to the creator of this tutorial. Shoes were vinyl shoes that we got. They're actually clear Cinderella costume shoes.
You can kind of tell, but they're actually translucent, just like hers. Yeah.
That we spray painted black with taillight tint, I believe is what it was called, nightshade. There's, I think, only 1 or 2 coats on that. I do not recommend vinyl shoes. I had blisters on my feet for about 2 days after that because they were cutting into my pinky. So if you buy vinyl shoes, buy a size up is what I would recommend because they killed my feet. I mean, I thought my Yang boots were bad, but these were really, really bad. Like, really. And so once we had that, it was pretty much done. Cinder was a pretty easy process to do. The back tattoo is the only thing that I really left out of the picture-wise, so I don't have too many pictures of it. But all it is we took the pattern piece, printed it onto paper. I used my tag body paint that I purchased with my little sponge brush thingy and just dab. We spray it with some barrier spray to seal the body paint. That stuff does not come off if you spray it because it's alcohol based. That's kind of how I did Cinder. I hope it helps somebody with just the ideas I did and all the little things. Like, I mean, I bought the choker, I bought the gold little earrings that we put the charm on. So that's really about it, and enjoy the Cinder-esque pictures. I'm now going to go use my new Polaroid camera and get that going. Thanks, guys. See ya.